That's Donald Trump's position. He believes in the right to bear arms and actually feels, interestingly, one of the students we just spoke to, Nick Heyman, who was caught up in it, also believes that the answer to it is not to take away the guns, but to arm people in school to protect themselves.
It's hideous and ghastly. It's almost incomprehensible to us here, isn't it, in Britain?
It is.
18 shootings in schools this year. We haven't even reached the end of February. It's appalling. Trump is part of the problem, but I have to say, the great President Obama, what did he do in 2 terms as president, 8 years? He didn't solve it.
Well, he came up against the gun lobby.
Yeah,
he did.
To be fair, it's very hard.
Yeah, but Bernie Sanders, who was taking on Trump, who was on the left, didn't agree with the gun control either. There's just a terrible mindset in the States.
But the gun lobby is just all-powerful, isn't it?
Very
That's
powerful.
the problem.
Absolutely, and also it's a cultural thing. I think, you know, as your previous sort of interviewer kind of alluded to, that Second Amendment, that right to bear arms, is very much in the DNA of the American psychology. And there is this deluded belief that guns will keep you safer. There's this expression, you know, guns don't kill people, people do. That is absolute nonsense. As we know, when you have one perpetrator with a weapon like that, they can do so much damage. The Las Vegas shooting that we've seen. But interestingly, the NRA is so powerful.
The National Rifle Association.
Absolutely. And remember, when Trump was running for president, you know, there was that iconic scene where he says, "You were there for me and I will be there for you." That's what he says to the gun lobby.
Is there a particular issue with this particular weapon that was used in this? We believe the AR-15. It was used in the Orlando shooting. It was used at Sandy Hook. It was used at numerous other usings. It's a big machine gun. I mean, the idea, as you say,
Why do they need a machine? Why do they need a machine gun?
Particularly as this man who we claim, Nicholas Cruz, who they think perpetrated this and is in custody, that people in the school said he was odd. That was the expression they used. They said that they thought something like this might happen.
Well, I mean, there's stories saying that in his Instagram account there's pictures of, you know, animals that he's tortured and killed, which is quite a giveaway in terms of someone's stability.
Isn't it?
Yeah, but some of the ideas that have been put forward are quite practical, they're quite simple. The weapon that you talk about, one of the ideas was to limit these types of weapons.
Yes.
The other idea that was put forward was to register gun owners and limit the number of weapons, because if you look at the analysis, actually the number of guns that are owned in the United States are actually owned by quite a small number of people. They tend to tool themselves up. But if there was some kind of database, or, you know, you could have a sort of compromise where you say, OK, we're not going to stop you owning guns, but here are some basic, controls.
Let me play devil's advocate. Let's flip this thing completely around. Let's accept, shall we, for now anyway, for the foreseeable, that America is never going to get a grip on this in a meaningful sense. It's going to maybe nibble at the margins, but basically we're going to have a massive gun problem in America with semi-automatic and automatic weapons available to kids to go into schools to blow people away. That's the reality. That's not going to change. If that is the reality, and it isn't going to change, maybe we do need to have armed guards in schools. Maybe we do need to have teachers who are trained in the use of sidearms so that when somebody bursts into the classroom, they can take them on. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate, but maybe that's the reality that we're stuck with over there.
I can remember talking to a chief constable in Britain saying that we may, with the problem with knives in Britain, have to have the screening you have at airports, outside schools and nightclubs. This was up in Liverpool. In fact, it was Hogan Howe, who then became the Metropolitan Police Commissioner. He said you should have these mobiles. Perhaps they should do that, but the idea you're going to have to teach teachers have gun control, how to use a gun, is just. I mean, it's too much.
It's too much. You'll be turning. I mean, look, you could argue that schools already are a war zone, but the idea that you're going to train kindergarten, you know, teachers to take.
You've just got
to
ban them.
To that young man who we spoke to 5 or 6 minutes ago, who said that he would have felt a lot safer, and he feels that maybe it wouldn't have happened had one of the teachers, one of the staff, had a gun.
Well,
I'm just putting it to
I hear that.
Or a team of armed officers as well, he said, should be there.
You've got to change the political mindset in America. You've got to have presidents and candidates to run for the White House who say we're going to change this and we're going to stop it.